Good evening. Hello, hello. Right, let me just quickly get in contact with the controller here. He's got an issue.
Ryanair 8 Victor Alpha, radar identified. Are you able to climb flight level 390?
Of course, to flight level 390, Ryanair 8 Victor Alpha.
Yeah, that
Give me a
was
second.
Question, sir. Climb and maintain flight level 390, proceed direct BITLA.
So, I hope you're all doing good. Jacob, hello. B, hello. Marvi, hello.
Direct to BITLA and climb flight level 390, Ryanair 8 Victor Alpha.
Hungarian 47 kilo, descend 6,000 feet, QNH 1028.
6,000 feet, 1028, Hungarian 47 kilo.
Yeah, as I say, Enroute 248, Cock 7453.
7453,
GN 712, clear for takeoff, runway 03 right, wing out.
clear for takeoff, 03 right, welcome, and GN 712.
Condor 3 Papa Tango, what is your final cruise level?
Right, guys, sorry for the...
Condor 3 Papa Tango, flight level...
So the problem was, I logged on to VATSIM, and my PAP3 here had, for some reason, got the push to talk locked somewhere in one of those buttons. So then I was transmitting. I wasn't talking, but I was transmitting. I saw that immediately. It was like 10 seconds. I logged off. I fixed the issue and then relogged. But man, they're really having a go at me now. Like the supervisor came straight to me. And I said, yeah, you know, that's why I logged off, and then I fixed it and relogged. And now they're pretending as if as if I'm still transmitting, which I'm not, because I can see that here. Hey. Yo, how are you all doing? Morgan, hello to you. Cody, hello. Orifice Blue, hello. Bonjour. Yeah.
Descent flight level 80.
Yeah, great start. I mean, it happens sometimes that you get a stuck button, right? So, man, and that's why I logged off and then fixed it. But anyways, welcome everyone. So here we are in the iFly. I was going to say Indy builds, but iFly 737 Max again. The reason is there's a lot of hype going on right now regarding the 737-800 from PMDG, and a lot of content creators are streaming it. I don't know. Maybe I am a little bit. I don't know. Maybe I don't understand exactly what the big news is about the 737-8, but maybe someone can fill me in. Is anything really magically new? I know the 737-800 is like the most common 737 out there. So I don't know. Are there any new features that are coming with this?
In the Jet 248, are you able to proceed direct to Texas?
Hey, Luke. Good evening.
No, Leon.
Autotrust Blue says nothing has changed. It's a port from. It's just port to MSF2024. PNG is hyping it up, saying they remade everything, etc. So the EFB is new. Okay. I'm not sure. So yeah, a little bit polished maybe, and it's going to cost an upgrade fee, correct? But nobody knows exactly how much, right? So okay. Hey Nada, good evening. It's an individual upgrade. Okay. I've not seen any pricing yet, so I don't know. I'm not sure. Hey Easy, wie geht's dir? Schön dich zu sehen. Ja, kein Problem. Ich hoffe, dir geht's gut. yeah, so again, I don't know exactly, you know, if it's really worth getting. I'll have a look at it and then I'll decide. I have to say, the PMDG 737. I'm not bashing PMDG. Don't get me wrong. Okay, I've enjoyed PMDG products and I still enjoy the 777 from them, etc. Right, and I'm waiting for the 747. But I'm not sure about the 737. The 737 has neither really got my big interest in P3D, nor has it got my interest in 2020. Yeah, I know. So I'm aware with the hair artifacting. I apologize for that. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to fix that. So, I could, you know, if I dye my hair green, you won't see my hair. Then I'll have a. I don't know. Hey, Tuksu, hello. Let's see. I honestly don't know what's going on, guys. Yeah, so please contact with okay, so right, so I guess that's fixed then. Okay. Weird. Like I said, my bad. I'm sorry. I apologize for transmitting, having a stuck button there. Happens, right? And I try to fix it as fast as I can. That's all I can do. Lilo, hello to you. Tuxi, I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. How are you? Okay, guys, I've made a little bit of a fun thing here. So here's the briefing room, right? So then let's have a look. Let's pretend we are in the briefing room. Let's check here. Where is my AirPlay? There it is. Cool. And Alex, hello, wie geht's? Yeah, so today I'm on the way to Varna because they have an event going on. And we've not really been much to Bulgaria lately, right? So why not, I thought, why not take the opportunity to take you guys down there? Maybe someone is interested in flying along. We will see. Dave Cat... yeah, I mean, it's the thing, right? It's I personally, I do use MSFS2024 for the looks. I will say that. I would definitely say that's a reason, you know, for streaming content, and I enjoy the visuals there, absolutely. And usually if it's the add-on that is actually like the FENIX, for example, which has a nice overlaid own kind of flight model. It's not perfect, but it's something, you know, that I feel I can enjoy. The same here in the iFly 737. I think it has a nice kind of overlaid flight model, which you know I can live with quite well. I mean, there's other aircraft that I don't like as much, but yeah. Tuxi, doing well, thank you. Not lately, no. I've checked the latest versions today, and there was no update. So I don't know. It's definitely 2 or 3 months ago from the last update, to my knowledge. Okay, so we're departing from Zakynthos, and we know. that we are just... yeah, I think it's... let's see. Yes, I'm just trying to remember. Have we been to Zakynthos? I mean, we must have flown here some time ago, right? So, yeah. Yeah, so B, I thank you. And yes, there will be more X-Plane 12 content. So, you know, stay tuned. Hey, Nikki. It is, yeah, we'll have a look. It's Fraport, isn't it? Hey, Dexter, good evening. So the routing takes us eastbound overhead Thessaloniki, Plovdiv. Or is it Plovdiv? Yeah, Plovdiv. That used to be our alternate when we went to Sofia. And then we go to Varna. And the alternate today is going to be Sofia. And the reason is that... there, Maxi, hello. How are you doing? Maxi, nice to see you. The reason is that the first choice that I had was Bucharest, but they have freezing fog. So that's why I decided to go to Sofia in case of diversion. If we look at the weather, currently here at Zakynthos, Cavoque, no wind, 13 degrees, beautiful weather, 1026. But we can see that right now in Varna, no cloud, 7 degrees, but dew point 6. Hey, QB. So you can already see this kind of gives us potential for fog. So very humid air there. And then we may be getting some mist, broken 1000, and then it may go into broken 500. And then they're saying overnight they're going to have freezing fog. So let's hope it doesn't come in earlier than expected, because if that freezing fog actually comes to fruition sooner, then we will definitely going to have an issue, because Varna only has a normal ILS approach. It does not have Cat 2 or Cat 3 capability. So no autoland possible there, and that means the lowest minimum we can go to is 200 feet AGL. Yeah, so that maybe in case of fog, then it does. Yeah, QB, we'll see. So the thing is, you know, forecast is always one thing, but forecasts often are wrong. Talking from personal experience, right? Then Sofia. Now, Sofia is not really an optimum kind of alternate airport, because it also has from midnight on freezing fog. But I guess if we monitor the situation right now, +2, and it's got -1. So currently got 3 degrees delta between the dew point and the actual temperature. So, so I think Sofia should be fine. Another thing, the first choice, that the closest one to Varna, is actually Burgas, but that airport is closed. Yeah, QB. How do you go about choosing VATSIM routes? Yeah, normally be so if I look for events, right, and then well, now the grease controller has logged off. I hope it's not because of me. But anyways, so right, and yeah, so we'll take Sofia. Burgas not possible, and here we've got nice April position. Taxi out will be according to Alpha 2, Alpha 1, and then we're gonna have to do a backtrack. So make sure that nobody's in the approach. Yeah, wind is calm, so I think I'm going to go with 3-4 for departure. And we are planning for the... Let's check here quickly. We're planning for the ARA to Lima departure. So if I go to... Oops. Zakynthos, SID... right, that's the south. Yeah, I think we can take the ARA at 3 Delta in this case. So it's a standard SID, not an RNAV. So the first thing I look at is it a standard SID or a RNAV SID? And today rarely happens these days, but here we can see in Greece we still have some normal SID departures, which means they are based on the traditional kind of NAV8s, VORs, NDBs, etc. So here it says climb on Zakynthos radial 340 to 7 miles. Zakynthos, which is there, and then it's a right turn 0 to 4 degrees track and intercept Zakynthos 359 outbound until 30 DMEs and turn right 140 track and yeah, intercept the course 097 inbound to ARA, which is the airway November 604. Let's check here. Well, it's from ARA. Okay, ARA, then direct Thessaloniki and so on. Okay, cool. That's the one that's filed. Hey, Iowa. Yeah, QB, simply because any RNAV sit. Let me show you then an RNAV sit here. So let's quickly have a look at Sofia. So if I go to SID here, so you see this. Oops. It says here on the top, it says RNAV sit. Right. So there's RNAV sit, while on the Zakynthos, you just have the SID there. That's how quickly. Hey Svenja, moin. That's how quickly you can identify if it's RNAV or if it's SID, a normal SID. Hey,
Ladies and
Ulas.
gentlemen, welcome aboard the Captain Black Box infotainment experience. New subscribers should now pick up their pass to first class. Thank you.
Yeah, QB, welcome. And a big thank you to Ulas. Future man. Ulas 7, how are you doing? Nice to see you. Hope you're doing good. Thank you for the 8 months, by the way. Thank you so much. Cool. Yeah, initial climb. Normally we would get that by ATC, but unfortunately we don't have ATC anymore. And so transition's 8,000. So what I'll do, I'm going to climb myself initially to the transition altitude. So 8,000 it is. And then sectors 8,000 to the northwest. That's because of the high terrain there on the island. The rest is 4,000. And then we got 9,900 as a grid there. So a quick climb is definitely preferred. Regarding fuel, because it's an event, a relatively small airport, and the weather potentially getting a risk for fog, what I want to do is I want to have like 20 minutes at the destination airport to then have a few minutes to carefully analyze our options and then make a sound decision on where to go. So that's why I've taken 20 minutes extra. And so we're looking for about 6.9 tons of block fuel today. Overall, pretty full flight. So we have a zero fuel weight of around about 63 tons. Expected landing weight is 66.6. Expected takeoff weight about 69.6. So fairly heavy. Would you fly the SID using NAVLOC? Yeah, so Jacob, you could do that theoretically. Don't overcomplicate procedures in the sense that you think, I mean, yes, there are certain procedures which have to be flown using the autopilot system, but SIDs can be flown just with flight director guidance, for example, unless your company SOPs tell you differently. But if you're doing a conventional departure like we're doing today, then indeed what you can do is simply use the autopilot functions you have available. So either heading mode, nav mode, or VOR lock mode in this case. So the 737 actually can fly not just a localizer from the ILS and track that. It can also track conventional VOR radials, as you know. So, you know, it would be fine to do so. The cool thing is, since the departure is not based on RNAV, you can do two things. Either fly conventionally, simply by using the lock mode, for example, or tracking the radial outbound with the heading mode. The good thing is it's not out of departure, so there's no requirement for 1 mile accuracy, right? So, you know, if you overshoot a little bit by more than a mile, it's not going to matter, you know, as much as if you were flying a pure RNAV-based departure route. And then if you fly an RNAV-based departure route, then of course SOPs usually say, you know, at least use flight director mode with nav mode engaged. And so, you know, in the end, have a look at what you need to do, and then, you know, you use the appropriate autopilot modes to make sure that you don't deviate too much. Cool. Let's have a look at the overhead panel, and I'm going to go ahead and get myself these two nav mode. Oxygen looks good. Let's do some tests here. I'm going to do a flap indicator test, make sure all the LEDs are working. Fantastic, they are working. Good, then we want to have the yaw damper on. I'm going to leave the fuel pumps off for now. I'm going to take this to battery power. This goes to ground power. External ground power is on. Cabin utility IFE is on. APU currently still off. I'm going to take the window heat on already. And then, oh yeah, don't forget the immersion lights to arm. While we're here, let me go ahead and quickly load the flight plan. So it's always the same. ACARS is not working here yet. So if I have a look, if I go and check the call sign, it is Tango Victor Sierra, correct? Yeah, Tango Victor Sierra. I don't recall flying SmartWings livery, but who knows? Maybe I have. Is the essential that would look home to? Yeah, well, I mean, to some extent, yes, of course, it is. Can't deny that. So let me try this. I keep forgetting. Is it? Can I do that simply by flight plan request? There we go. That's what I wanted. Which flight is it using Navlog? Okay, already answered that one. Yeah. Hey, Pilots Unite, but SP1 will bring a CPTC and new cabin announcement. Unlock APU. Which one? Sorry, for which aircraft? Right, let's load that. For the iFly? Good. We said we don't do the. Oh, nice. Okay, so oh wow. Okay, well, definitely new EFB. Yes, please. I think we all agree that this is not the best, right? Not the best cutting technology here. I agree with that. Okay, so in the meantime, while we're doing this, then let me start my GSX and let's see if we can request refueling.
Fueling truck is on its way.
Now, let me have a quick look here. So menu, performance, payload, weight and balance. So I guess we need to insert that here, right? Because I don't think GSX knows that. So 6.9, taxi out 200, and I can have a look at the the total fuel quickly. Where is it? Total fuel is
Fuel truck is in position.
I mean the trip fuel is around about 3,000 kilograms. Let's not overcomplicate things. So 3,000. Set the fuel. So that's done. Let's check that really quickly. Okay. So the fuel truck is here. Question is, though, does that do anything? So 10.3 set fuel. There we go, 6.9. That's fine. That's now set. Cool. Now packs. Total packs was like 171. Nicely balanced. So we're looking for a zero fuel weight of, what do we say, 63 tons. So I want to have a little bit of cargo in here as well. 63, let's do 1300 and then I'm going to set the payload. Cool. Nice. I'm happy with that. In the meantime, let's start the APU. And then for the arrival, I'm definitely expecting a runway 09 approach. The wind is from the east in Varna. So let's do the Zulu 09. And the arrival routing filed is the DIXA 1 Delta. There it is. And the approach via. So a quick look here at the charts, menu, terminal charts. And then edit the clip. So we'll do the approach type, ILS Zulu. And the arrival is the 1 Delta. 1 Delta. Let's complete that. So let's have a look here. So it should be MPET, I guess. Let's have a look. Page up. Page down. No. So let's zoom in. Yeah, so here we go. So that's via Whiskey November 789, 760, 761, and then MPET. So that's why we're going to put this to MPET transition execute Lex page. Hey Ghost, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. So 789, 760, 761 MPET, EVRAP, yeah, and then Whiskey November 764. Very low intercept for the glide slope here, but that's good. Okay, cool. Air Ghost. Then I'll see you in a few minutes. Good. Let's set the position here. I'm going to go take the GPS position. And then performance. I'm going to take the actual value, 63.1. Reserve. Now, initially, it's going to be 2.7. So that's the alternate fuel to get to Sofia, and then have 30-minute remaining fuel at Sofia if need be. Also, let me have a look at the route data, request the wind data. Let's see if that works. Yeah, so Andreas, we can talk about that in the cruise flight. That's why you would need what's called a takeoff alternate airport. And I'm not sure, have you ever seen the prompt for that on the flight plan? I can show you if you like. So if you go to your flight plan it says here it's got a field for takeoff alternate. Exactly for that reason. So if the weather conditions are such at your departure airport that in case you get like an engine failure or some hydraulic failure, that potentially you can't land because the weather is so bad at your departure airport that you're going to have to divert, then you need to have that written down here on the flight plan. Also, there's some clear restrictions when it comes to this. So, for example, normally the maximum distance of that departure alternate or takeoff alternate airport is 1 hour still air distance, single engine cruise level, cruise flight speed. So you can say maybe it's like 300 miles roundabout. It depends on the aircraft type. So, you know, you've got your normal engine out to long range cruise tables where you have a certain cruise speed at the optimum level, and then you can have a look and see how, you know, how long you can fly with that. But roughly I would say it's about 300 miles, give or take. Right, wind up link. Okay, so the wind is in. Fantastic. VNAV. Let's have a look for VNAV forecast. Descent winds. Let's request those as well. Yeah, Andreas, welcome. Well, Fishbone, yeah, I mean, I honestly can't think of an instance where... So what you don't do, okay, Fishbone, you do not do the following. You don't say, I'm going to have the absolute worst failure possible, which means that's going to give me the longest landing distance requirement, i.e., let's say A320 dual hydraulic failure, okay, yellow and green, let's say. Then you have a huge required landing distance. You don't calculate for that. That's not a reason to having to go for a takeoff alternate airport, right? And you know, should you take off and have that issue, well then, you know, you would do your foredeck, have a look what options you have, and then go from there. But you don't, you know, yeah. Yeah, but that's a different case. I'm sure that Sven was mentioning engine out case, where you have to do like an overweight landing, engine out. And then potentially, yeah, you could be, you know, if you work out already on the ground your landing distance performance, and then you may come to the conclusion that, yeah, it's not enough. I mean, that, sure, that can happen, absolutely. But there are, you know, different cases. QB, normally the pilots will have to make sure that, you know, because these days at big airlines, you have to realize that dispatch, I mean, they do have humans still working there, but they mostly, at least at our airline that I worked for, they were really mainly working long range, right? And so for the short range, it was like a computer program where you have your daily normal schedules, and then, you know, repetitive flight plans. So the software would take care of all the routings, etc., fuel requirements. So, which also means that you have to be careful, because sometimes, you know, the flight plan may be 3 hours old, and then you know, you go through the briefing package, you look at the weather, and suddenly you realize, oh, hang on, you know, the weather has changed in the meantime, and the alternates are not valid anymore, or I want to have a different alternate. You know, many different reasons, right? But in the end, the pilot is responsible. You can't always, you know, say, oh, it's not my, you know, my responsibility, right? Well, it is. I mean, because, so what happens also, if you look at your flight plan, you see at the bottom there, it says, of course, who made your flight plan. But have a look here. You see this? Right. That's actually, it looks like just a simple signature. But actually, with that, you actually assign that you've checked carefully whether NOTAMs, the aircraft state, you've checked any requirements from MEL that you may have to take on some extra fuel or whatever. So there's so many things that go into that simple signature there, that yeah. And again, you're taking on the responsibility there with that signature, not dispatch. Yeah, but go around flaps, isn't that more like your personal viewpoints? Because I mean, these things are a variable, right? I'm just checking. So we're actually going it says 360 on my flight plan. So I'm not sure where they got the 390. I'm going to put 360. And destination elevation is, yeah, about 230, 250 is fine. That's good. All right, let's get some packs on here. Some air conditioning going. Temperature's looking okay. Looking fine. Let's get some steady position lights on here. So that panel looks good. The wind data's in now, so we have that filled out. I don't need to put in a cruise wind. We've got the departure route, and we'll calculate the performance in a second. Oh, sorry. Yeah, there we go. Thanks, Qubit. So one more time regarding our departure. Let's edit the clip here. I'm going to go with departure. So that's the 2 Lima. There it is. So again, parked here. Going to take Alpha 1, backtrack full length 34. And then we'll take the Arrakos to Lima departure. So conventionally, I mean, we can try to fly this conventionally. It's not a big deal, really. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put in the locator. So interestingly enough, the 340 degree bearing is actually from the locator, that beacon there, not the VOR radial. Just the DME is from the VOR there. And again, we're intercepting a bearing from the Zulu Alpha Tango beacon. And we know the beacon moves around a lot. That needle is very twitchy, so, you know, that's why you are expected to deviate a little bit from the center line. Obviously, usually when you have a programmed FMS routing and your accuracy is very high, usually with GPS updating, then you would use nav mode, because on nav mode, flying that magenta line is going to be more accurate than tracking an NDB needle. But for practice purposes, let's do that. So let's go 326 here. So I'm going to enter this here, and this is something you don't really use very often, do you? So that's that's antenna ADF 326. Let's have a look again, 326, and then we can have a look here and switch this to ADF1. Can you see that? So it says VOR1 we can select, or ADF1. So let me go put that to center mode. I'm going to switch this to ADF1, and there we go. That blue needle now, that's the ADF. Zulu Alpha Tango, which we've tuned. Right. Since we're tracking it outbound, remember guys, we always pull the tail and push the head of the needle. So once we get a little bit further away, that tail of the needle will come towards the track that was supposed to fly initially, 340 until 10 dBs. Yeah, so it's an interesting departure because we're coming back to the field, right? So we're doing 10 miles, so we're coming back to the field, then turning again, kind of a procedure turn over the airfield, trying to gain some altitude, and then 044 and then 359 outbound. So it's not, we're not doing is going 10 miles and intercept that. We're not going to do that. We're going to come back to the field, and then. But usually, if you have ATC, they would then give you a direct, right? They would see, you know, if you call. It could be though that this airport actually has no radar available. So theoretically, you know, no radar coverage available here. Then yeah, you would call in your altitudes, and then at some point you may get a direct. Good. Another thing we want to do is get the 10.8 Zulu Alpha Kilo, and I assume that's just going to be a DME. So it is going to be the frequency here. Okay, well, it is actually. I thought it's going to be just a RS, but there we go. Still a VOR DME indication. Although, I mean, if we got the VOR, the NDB on 1, so that we have an indication there, we may as well put that on 2. So 10.8 transfer, and there we go. Now we got Zulu Alpha Kilo, half a mile there. How do I feel flying the 737 again? I like it, but I'm not you know, I'm not romancing about the 737 or something. I mean, it's a great aircraft to fly and work on, but it's dated, isn't it? So it's not the most ergonomically you know, aircraft out there. So you have a technical question. During VMC ILS final approach, the runway edge lights appear to be flickering. Almost there. I'm not sure what you mean with flickering. So very, very strictly speaking, go on flaps, daytime. Oh, sorry, night VMC. You would need the edge lights and a red end light. You don't need threshold lights, if I remember correctly.
49 months,
hey Mate, buonasera.
I probably discovered your YouTube channel first. The single engine procedures on the 777 maybe? Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? It's a long time, Mate. Indeed, it's going to be interesting next year, because next year we're entering the 10th year of my streaming career, if you like. So yeah, so again, as long as you can see the edge lights, I mean, if they're flickering, right? But I mean, if you can see them and still make out the runway edges, then you're fine. But of course, I'll give you an example. I remember IRL taxiing out at Paris Charles de Gaulle, and it just gotten dark, so it's like, you know, a little bit of rest light, but officially from the working hours, it was actually night time. Okay, so for us SOPs, nighttime for takeoff requires us to have the runway edge lights visible, and of course the end lights as well, right? So we taxied on, and as I taxied on and looked down the runway, I was thinking something doesn't look right. But because there was like some rest lighting available around us, so very late kind of sunset, I thought, well, but something's wrong. And my co-pilot said, oh, the lights aren't on. And we already got the takeoff clearance, right? So I stopped the aircraft and said, hey, tell the controller we need the runway lights. So my FO called in and said, sorry, please switch on the runway lights. And the controller said, don't worry about it. You're cleared for takeoff. And we said, no, we can't. We're not allowed to take off right without runway lights now. And so it took like, I would say, a minute until the controller find the switch to switch on the lights. But he thought, well, you can still see the runway, right? I mean, you don't really need the lights, do you? Well, you know, it's one thing about need, and the other thing about legality. So, for example, if I'd taken off and we had to abort a takeoff, and then suddenly I wasn't able to identify the runway edges correctly, and I went off the runway for whatever reason, then the authorities would, you know, would come in and say, hey, why did you take off? Right? You know, it was nighttime. Why did you take off without runway lights? So whenever, you know, the thing with, you have to kind of get away from pure logic, right? And just simply understand there's SOPs, there's rules and regulations, and you have to be within that framework. It's not up to you as a pilot to decide which of these rules and regulations you like and use and which ones you don't use. You don't have that luxury as a pilot, right? You have to obey to all of these rules. Yep, go around flaps. Yep, do that. System page. Quickly, let's have a look. So we have the parking brake set. We have the APU now on and using it. Then we're going to retract the air stairs. Good. Well, QB, I don't know. I've never really had the kind of the mindset to kind of judge about certain rules and regulations. Because, I mean, seriously, if you start wondering about certain rules and regulations and you know, if it really makes sense, you're going to go mad in aviation. And QB, you're going to learn that as well at some point. So accept it. Even, you know, it's not up to us to judge and you know, if it's affecting safety, of course. I mean, if something's there that affects the safe operation of an aircraft, well, you've got to speak up. But otherwise, I mean, you know. Good. Let's get the ground power off as well. So ground support. So that's all done. Performance. Let's go show keyboard. Oh, hang on. Hide keyboard. So let's go complete. Then we're going to go to Lima, Golf, Zulu Alpha. Search. Runway 34, condition is dry. Oh, hang on. What we're going to do is... so in case you're wondering, I'm not sure if Senshai has officially published this new version of our airport info app. So it's much cleaner now, and we are able to change data on this very quickly now. So whenever we get some information, you know, one of my moderators, Senshai, or myself, can really quickly adjust the important information there. So currently I can see, let's have a quick look here. Lima, that's that. And also, yeah, it does save the ICAO codes that you've put in. Yeah, Ulas, that's just the thing. Just don't question it. Yeah, seriously. Right, the weather's changed a bit, so we've got 360 at 4. So, but I'm going to just leave that at 0. So if you have a bit of headwind component, we'll take that as a backup. 16 degrees. Actually, let's take 17. Just in case it gets a bit warmer. And just 1 QNH less. And that again is just there in case once we taxi out, should QNH go 1025. Then, and we calculate with 1026, then we'll theoretically have to recalculate. Depends again on your company SOPs. The runway length is not that long, so we are heavy. I'm going to go with takeoff. Add a bit of assumed 45. Although Although, well, I mean, we could theoretically try that on SimBrief and compare that. Let's see what get. We're going to take a flap 5, should be fine. Air conditioning off, anti-ice off, calculate. Oh. Okay. Well, interesting, it gives us the maximum. That's interesting. Okay, so let's have a look here. So 3-4 meters, that's fine. Bleed will take auto, anti-ice off. Although let's take bleed off, i.e. packs off. Takeoff weight, 69.6 is fine. We've got... I'm not sure why it's taking 16. Let's take 16. Actually, no, 17 degrees. 1025. Oh, that's old. Disregard. Yeah, that's a fairly old weather. Can somebody do me a favor? Can somebody quickly type exclamation mark Meta Lima Golf Zulu Alpha, please, in chat, and then we can have a look at the latest weather here. Thank you much, QB. Oh, look at that. It cooled down a lot. Yeah. So we're going to recalculate that. I'm going to take 12 degrees. 1025 is still fine. Dry. Improved climb disabled. So here in SimBrief, it gives us a takeoff 5 with DTO 50. 41, 41, 49. Let's have a look here at the calculator. Let's calculate that. So let's see what happens if we actually go 50. It doesn't like it. So the maximum is 34. So we'll take 34. Huh? It didn't exceed. Alright, we'll take 33. The speeds look good. Pretty much in line what SimBrief gave me as well. So we've got TO1, flaps 5, and a 33. Well, it's not calculated with any wind, no. So on the SimBrief, it has no wind, and the latest meta also shows no wind, so that's why we're not calculated with any wind. Good. TO active, 33.
Hello, Black.
Hey, Brenda, wie geht's dir? Schön, dich zu sehen. Takeoff, flaps 5. And Brenda, the flight time is only an hour 15, so I think we're doing very well with the... Oh, and Brenda, quick question. Are you able to depart earlier than 9:30, or is that already pushing your time? Oh, okay, Jacob. Oh, sorry for that. Oh, it didn't take the... Oh, it didn't post that on YouTube. Ah, okay. No worries, Brendel, then we'll leave that at 9:30. Perfectly fine with me. No worries. So 38, 40, 51. So I'm going to put 51 in here on my PAP 3. 51. Heading... Initial... I think it was 339. Initial heading is... well, 340 it says. Alright, 340. Also going to put 340 course in here as a reminder. And 8,000 is what we're going to fly. Alright, LNAV, VNAV is armed. Although LNAV's already captured for some reason. That's really strange. Not sure why it's doing that. Alright, well, we're going to fly in heading mode anyways. Oh, I pressed out disregard. I pressed V or lock. I'm so used to pressing both of these. Yeah, me too, Brenold. I got the engine sounds working now, so it should be fun, yeah. This is the the iFly 737 Max. I still like this very much indeed. I'm going to enter the MSA circle here quickly. So Zulu Alpha Kilo. And then radius 25. So radial will take 359. 25 miles in here. And then I want to have another radial at 090. Well, actually, sorry, 270. So that way, I already have now a beautiful indication here regarding my departure route. Okay, so come back, intercept outbound, and then we see the high 8,000 sector there, and the rest I think was 4,000. Yep. Yeah, you are correct. I think the command doesn't work on YouTube. That's why it doesn't show it. Yeah. Good. Happy with that, guys. We are going to do the last couple of items here. Auto brake RTO. Set the rat navs. Good. We've already briefed the departure route, etc. So the only thing I'm going to say now is engine out. According to our little app here, it says 340 to 15 miles to hold. Just straight out 15 miles to hold. Acceleration is 1,600 feet, and we have NEDP 2. That's something I can change here quickly. Acceleration, acceleration 1,000, and thrust reduction is 1,000. And then engine out 1,500 AGL is fine. Cool. This means we're going to read a... Oh, this is also a nice feature now that it can switch between the airport infos and the checklists, which is great. Then we'll read the pre-flight checklist. Oxygen tested 100%. Navigation transfer switches, normal and auto. Window heat is on. Pressurization mode selector in auto mode. Flight instruments heading is 069er with the altimeter 1026, 10 feet. It's now set 3 times. The park brake is set. Engine start levers cut off, and that's the pre-flight checklist complete. I'm going to do the before start items. Cleared for hydraulic. Let's get the packs off here for engine start. Anti-collision light goes on. Make sure the doors are closed. Door panel here. Cockpit door is closed and locked. And transponder 2000. Still have no ATC, no. 2000. And I think we need to... Oh, okay, that's interesting. Let's put that 2 above. And transponder. Why is it not showing mode Charlie? Ah, that. We have to put that onto on. It's kind of weird. So... this doesn't work in auto on VATSIM. You have to put this in on until, I guess, unless until you've got the engines running. The header is missing the airports. I'm not sure what you mean. It's on the bottom. Good. Before start to the line, fuel, we have 6.8 tons pumps are on, passenger signs are on, MCP V2 heading 340, altitude 8,000, B1 VR 140, V2 seal pre-flight is completed, rudder aileron trim free and 0, and the taxi takeoff briefing is completed. Below the line, flight deck door closed and lock. Doors are all closed and ignition light is on, and so now we are ready for pushback. The landing and hang on, I'm confused, Bernard. Takeoff and landing airport ICAOs. But they are on the bottom row, Reynolds. It says departure Lima Golf Zulu Alpha, arrival Lima Bravo Whiskey November. Yeah, left bottom corner. Yeah, exactly. Hey Sammy, how are you? Nice to see you. No worries, Reynolds. No, I was starting to get worried. I thought, hang on, are you guys not seeing it, or where they put my iPad? Beautiful. One quick reminder regarding our schedule. So this weekend, this Saturday, we are doing our yearly Christmas Christmas live stream. So 14 to 1800 UTC, it's the open stream, and then 18 to 22, it's closed stream for YouTube members and Twitch subscribers. Gonna have a chance on both streams to win some nice prizes. Let's have a look. Oh, hang on. Clear route. Save route. Quite like that feature with the map mode there. Oh, yeah, we got to listen to the engine sounds now, don't we? I remember these are nice here on the iFly. Good. Done the checklist, so we're good for engine start. Make sure we have the pressure, packs are off, and then we're going to turn number 2, or right engine, I should say. And now we just wait until we get about 25%. Yeah, they are very good. And here we got motoring. So not only do we wait until you get to about 25, but here actually we wait until that motoring message disappears on the max. Has anyone seen an estimate for the... Oh, there we go. So now it's got 25%. Here we go. Anyone seen the estimates for the max? Lovely howl at the end. Love that. Estimate you mean for landing? Or do you mean the estimate for the max from PMDG, right? Yeah, like I said, I've not heard any estimates. Same thing for engine for the left engine now. Gonna wait. Motoring is appearing now until that goes. Hey, Josh. And Old Fashioned Simmer, hello to you. How are you? And Matta says, can't remember, does the Max have a dual motoring function available as an option? No, I don't think so. I've never seen that. Here we go. I've only seen that on the Airbus.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Yeah, so the howl that you're hearing comes from the airflow through the combustion chamber. So as the air flows through it, the engine spools up, the airflow increases. It starts to get into a frequency range, where it resonates in the combustion chamber. And that's where you get that fantastic howl. Good. Let's do the items here. So Generators on bus. Oh, that can remain on auto position. APU bleed off. Auto, auto, auto. Start switches continuous. Oh, continuous. Wrong button. APU off. Hang on, off. I have to go right click. Thank you much. See you next time. So flaps are 5. Let's do the flight controls system page. Full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, and rudder, full left, full right, neutral. That looks good. Let's clean up the engine page. Let's have a look. There she is. Thank you much. See you next time. Have a good trip. Thank you. So after, before taxi checklist, generators are on. We have probe heats on, anti-ice off, not required. Isolation valve is in auto position here. Engine start switch is continuous. Recall was checked. Outer brake RTO. Engine start levers idle attend. Flight controls checked. Ground equipment is clear, and that's the before tax check is complete. Zakynthos traffic. Oh, what was the call sign again? Smart Wings. Oh, it's called. I'll keep forgetting. Smart Wings. Call sign. It's Sky Trouble. Sky Trouble 174 taxiing active runway 34 in Zakynthos. Sass moin. That's true, Lawrence. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So that's definitely a range that is not so critical. So now that we have to backtrack, let me just go switch on the TCAS so that we can see traffic. Traffic is now on the center. Zakynthos traffic. Sky Travel 154 is lining up, backtracking runway 34 for departure in Zakynthos. Sky Travel. I need to write that down somewhere. Daniel, hello. Any chance for jet time ops? What do you mean? Any chance for jet time ops? Oh, I could try something, guys. If that's upsetting you too much regarding the head movement, let me know. But I do have something similar to track IR, which I want to try. So here comes strobe lights on. Cabin crew prepare for departure. As for the routing, jet time. I mean, always happy to try something new. Hey, cargo pilot, wie geht's? So let me have a look here. Track hat. Let's start it. Here we go. Lol. Nah. It's interfering with my controls for some reason. Disregard. En Steppke, hello, wie geht's? Good, let's read a checklist. Cabin is ready. So we have before takeoff checklist. Flaps 5 green light. Stabilizer trim is 5.3 units. Before takeoff checklist completed. Next is the after takeoff checklist. Now I'm going to take full length as briefed. No, it's not. I don't know what it is. So when I started the app there, for some reason, the aircraft started moving a bit weird, but maybe that was just a coincidence. Let me try that again. I don't know why it's so weird. Offline, I tried it earlier and it worked fine. Now it doesn't want to work, which is really strange. Chat's fault. Nah. Alright, then we can't use it. We just accept the fact that we can't use it. Okay. Good, let's line up and so again we're gonna go 340 bearing from that NDB, that cyan NDB needle there, until we get to 10 miles, Zulu Alpha Kilo. Then we're gonna turn right back to the airfield. And then 0 for 4 degrees, outbound 359. You're all ready? Here comes the all thrust arm. Yoke time. Let's go, takeoff. Laps time will start automatically. Takeoff. And 1. Thrust set. 80 knots checked. V1. Takes. Beautiful. Lifting off. That's right. Gear up. LNAV. However, what we're going to do, we're going to get this to heading select again. So we're not flying LNAV. We'll fly it. Oh, do you see that? So when I trim, the yoke actually goes and moves forward and backwards, which is nice. It actually works now here. That's great. So kind of recenters the whole yoke. Oh, I've got N1. Flaps 1. Flaps 1. So we have to remain until 210, okay? 210 in the turn. So quite a steep climb here. So the needle, see the tail of the needle here? Ever so slightly off 340, so I need to correct that ever so slightly. Even though LNAV is showing we're on centerline, but not trusting that. What I could do as well, I could just go with VOR mode here. So we're 5.3 miles currently. And I'm going to continue to climb level 3. Let's do 350. Six and a half miles. Beautiful. Hey, gunman. Yes, I limit to 60 FPS. A bit fast now. Let's make sure we keep 210. Wow, look at that sunset. Beautiful. Cushion, hello to you. Cushion idiots. And we're already on passing transition altitude. So we have standard set cross-checked. And we're 10 miles turning. So let's turn right. Keep 210. Bit of pull here. It's not an Airbus. Let me switch that to center mode so I can see the bearing needle. Yeah, Dave Cat, we are limited on the speed to 10 knots. And it should be like 15 degrees bank, which I'm not going to keep here at the moment. But we're very heavy, so yeah, that's why we need to keep that. Now we're just returning to the airfield, strictly keeping track to the bearing inbound. What we can do, we can anticipate a little bit of crosswind. It's not much though. I mean, maybe 1 to 2 degrees. Not really much more than that. Oh no, so Gunman, I'm not using RTSS. No. I'm using the internal limiter. I'm going to put the autopilot on. Autopilot. Now the wind is picking up, obviously. I'm going to go with speed intervention. Start increasing speed here a bit. So 230 maximum in that turn there. So I'm going to put 230. Flaps up. Flaps up. I'm not sure how good you can see the cyan needle there. But pretty much inbound to the field now. So we're tracking back now. Then we'll overfly, turn right, 044 degrees. The audio is lacking. So really, between the video and the stream audio, it shouldn't really happen, unless for some reason the microphone is on a different. Well, I mean, it could be. Although no, it shouldn't really. It shouldn't really have a lag. Goatfriend says lips and video are synced. QB, maybe refresh your browser or whatever you're using. Thank you much, Fishbone. So there we go. You can see the airfield right below us again. Let's make sure we have the packs on. Should turn it off actually for takeoff. We did count the packs off. All right, so packs are on. Let's do the after takeoff checklist. Bleeds are on, packs are on. We have the gear up and the flaps up as well. So that's the after takeoff checklist complete. Yeah, hey Mark, good to be. Nice to see you. Yeah, sometimes refresh works, yeah. Good, 3.5 miles. Almost back over the field. You can see that here nicely. You can see that needle now slowly falling. So we can actually start turning here. We're very close. You can see you may be misleading the fact that you're saying, oh, you've got 3.5 miles to the station. But remember, it's now measuring the altitude really. So the distance from the aircraft to the station. So the slant range, as it's called. So always be aware of that. While if you're using the nav mode here, so that is actually the track mileage over the ground. So two different things. Now we're going to turn right, heading 044. Beautiful. Any one of you ever been to Zakynthos on holiday? Very careful now. We're not chasing the head of the needle anymore. What we're doing now is we're tracking 044 degrees. So this heading here. And then intercept 359 bearing outbound. So we want to have the tail at 349 degrees. Sorry, 359, so almost north here. You can also see that because we're very, very... let's go back to VNAV. So as we're very close to the station, that needle is moving very fast. Oops, little glitch there. Next month? Lilo, what's next month? Hey, Tobias, moin. What's next month? Oh, you're going next month to Casablanca? Okay, nice. GG's. Okay. Just as a reminder, let me dial in 359 here. And now we have to kind of anticipate the... let's speed up here. Now anticipate the movement here. So now I'm starting to intercept that. Turning right. Already got a quite high ground speed, almost 400 knots. So you see the logic? We're pulling the tail towards the heading. Okay. So I'll keep the heading here, for example. Pulling the tail towards the heading. While if we're now tracking inbound to beacon, we would push the head. So then we would have to be heading on the left side, pushing the needle towards our intended track there. Now we are almost on that. Bit of wind from the left, so I have to anticipate that as well. Get a bit of correction angle in here. But it looks to me like we're doing a fairly good job at the moment. I would be quite happy with that. 359. Let's have a look here on the display. Well, look at that. Wow. You see? And that means we're going to use LNAV now. Map mode. Increase the range. And we're climbing 350, which should be our... Well, let's go 370. Let's go 370. How do you select which VOR, the VOR lock mode to track? You have two VOR on board. Well, it depends. Whatever, you know. So the thing is that you have to just have all the required stations visible. So one of the stations was ADF Zulu Alpha Tango and the DME of Zulu Alpha Kilo. Now, since we're not tracking any VOR radials, so I can't use VOR lock mode, so we have to use the heading mode, then of course, you know, I don't need to have the VOR on NAV 1, right? But yeah, if I want to track a VOR radial, then I have to have the on-side VOR tuned, meaning I would have to have the VOR tuned in order to use the VOR lock mode on my side. Oh, really? So Nick says he's been there to Zakynthos. He saw baby turtles hatching there. Crazy. Wow. I'm going to close speed intervention. Let's go. Wow, that's slow. Hang on. What's happening with the speed? Blimey. Yeah, still 230. Could disregard that. So now we should be past that. And then we are going to climb with about... What's Econ? 273. There we go. Now we got that 273. Let's get the airport data. And again, beautiful... the airport down there. Gorgeous. Reminds me now that we are inbound, pitch is okay now, so let's go and get seatbelts to auto. Just check the overhead panel. Make sure that's good. We can switch off the lights here. And then we're happy. Looking good. So, what you need to look at here, you see the very little indications there? It tells you which side is master. So to my knowledge, what will not work, so if you're master, you're the pilot flying, right? If you dial in a VOR on this set and then press VR lock, it will not track that radar because you're not on side. That's what I mean with on side. So if you're if you engage autopilot B, now the right side is master. Right, so now if you enter the VOR station here, then press VR lock, it will track this side. Nice. Yes, I'm not on real time, no. So I want to go take off in the daylight. We will land in darkness. Absolutely. Yeah, Jacob, pleasure. Always happy to answer good questions here. So Zakynthos, they have protected beaches where the turtles nest. Nice. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What a fortunate timing. Yeah, nice. All right, we're inbound now to Thessaloniki, Lima Tango Sierra. We don't have auto-tune, so we may as well have a look at the chart. And Tango Sierra Lima is 112.1. So I will dial that in on my side. Oops, 112. Yeah, 112.1. Transfer. VATSIM radar, no radar active at the moment. But later we've got a bit of coverage going towards Varna, at least in the approach later on. I wait to Hellas, really? And Satric, hello to you. So, oh yeah, and now I've dialed in Thessaloniki, but I'm still in ADF1, so I have to switch that to VR1. And now we can see Thessaloniki is coming in. Little green needle there, 143 miles to go. And we're climbing 370. Fantastic. So any news regarding anything happened aviation wise? Any questions that you guys are, or any questions lingering on your mind that you've come across lately? I was quite impressed. You know the 777-200 from, I think it was United, that had an engine failure on takeoff. So it must have been after we won, but very close to the airport, because it looked like it was an uncontained engine failure again, where some parts of the engine actually then fell left or right, so off the probably left side of the runway, and actually caused a fire within the airport perimeter next to the runway, which they had to take care of. And then it was interesting to listen to the controller and the pilot communications, and also interesting, man. I mean, I guess we're all experts, right? And yes, of course, we all want to share our knowledge. But when I read comments like, "Oh, I've been a captain on 777 for 20 years, and I don't understand why they flew holding instead of landing straight away, because it only takes maintenance 15 minutes on a overweight landing check." I mean, like, seriously, you weren't in the flight deck, right? So, you don't know exactly why, what they were discussing, and why they came to the conclusion that they would rather dump some fuel instead of rushing an approach at a very high weight, because it's like almost fully booked, like 290 passengers, and they had a tremendous amount of fuel. So first of all, I mean, they landed the aircraft, safely back onto the ground. I mean, you have to give them a big praise for that. Especially engine failure with such an engine, such an aircraft with such huge engines, probably right at rotation, including the startle factor that you were fighting, maybe, or hand flying it out until you reach at least 400 feet or whatever the altitude is that you're allowed to use the autopilot on the 777. Probably more like 200 feet above the ground. And then going straight out, managing the issue, right? Aviate, navigate, communicate. Dealing with that problem, and then imagine the amount of workload. So for example, I thought, well, the controller came in and said low altitude alert. I mean, yeah, no kidding. You've got an absolute heavy 777 on one engine climbing out, where the engine out path is literally calculated so that it's like clearing, obstacles, and the terrain with, just a few hundred of feet, if at all, right? I mean, it's actually calculated to much lesser degree of margin. So yes, sure, you're going to be low altitude until you have, the flaps in, and are able to go, and climb out in clean configuration, and that just takes time. I don't know how high United has their engine out acceleration altitudes. So in general, for us at my airline, it was 1,500 feet above the ground. But I know that there's some airlines, some aircraft where they have maybe 800 feet above the ground, which I personally find quite low. But I mean, you're clear of obstacles, why not? So yeah, and then the controller, right, it just came in, and I guess he has to say it, low altitude alert, yeah, but I mean, they're on one engine, flaps still out, they're trying to, secure the engine, fly with Paul, hello, and then, it just takes time. So imagine your clean speed on a heavy 777 is like 270 knots or something. So let's say your initial V2 is like 160 knots, 165 knots, and then you're leveling off, single engine, with the flaps still out on takeoff position, and then the acceleration will be so slow, even in level flight. It just takes ages to retract the flaps until you get to that 270 knots clean configuration speed, to then be able to climb on to your safe altitude. So yeah, he then said, well, because they're flying very far out, he said, well, be careful now, we're getting into my next minimum rate of vectoring altitude sector of 2,500 feet. Are you able to turn right? So the controller was worried about terrain getting higher, and having the aircraft stay within that 2,000 feet safety zone. So then they said, yeah, we could turn right. But you also have to realize that wings level acceleration is a lot more efficient than going like 15 degrees bank angle around the corner with the G loading then, meaning that probably you won't be able to accelerate much in a turn. So, you know, we're talking about everything being right on the edge, and they have to manage, fly the aircraft, navigate, communicate, do the procedures.
I don't know what to write.
Thank you so much. 5 that's really kind. 33 months. Das wünsche ich dir auch. Eine Woche. 1 week until we have Christmas. Although, I mean, in the UK, you really celebrate Christmas on the 25th, right? So, ja, ich danke dir, Paul. Dankeschön. Yeah, so again, and then they climbed up to safe altitude, and then when I heard that they wanted to dump fuel at 5,000 feet, I was like, okay, interesting, because for us, 6,000 above the ground is the lowest that we're allowed to dump fuel. So maybe they have a different limit in the US. But in Europe, to my knowledge, it is 6,000 feet. And also, they were on the extended center line for the landing runway, dumping fuel. So as far as I know, the airport wasn't closed. They closed down one runway because of the fire next to the runway, but I mean, other runways were open. So I was like, oh, you know, you got an aircraft dumping fuel in 5,000 feet. Yes, it evaporates very quickly, but you're not supposed to fly really holding, at least not tight holdings. I know they extended the outbound legs quite far, but of course you don't want to go and come back into your own fuel fumes, right? And fly through that. But yeah, it's interesting to see how they did the procedure. But I would never ever, you know, criticize pilots for their decision to dump fuel rather than to land at a very high overweight condition. Yes, I'm aware that you are allowed, the aircraft is capable of landing at max takeoff weight, right? Even though max landing weight is much lower, but it can land at max takeoff weight as long as you maintain at least what the maximum descent rate you have on touchdown is 360 feet per minute. So if you are less feet per minute on touchdown than 360, all is good. The aircraft is designed to take that stress. But then, and in the end, I think they said they had a blown tire as well. So even though they dumped fuel well below the max landing weight, max takeoff weight, they were still overweight, and then they still had a blown tire from that, right? So, to me, from what I can say at this point, job well done. Got the aircraft safely down. Everyone, you know, able to tell the tale, right? GG's. Old-fashioned simmer. Hey, Avi Mark and Abend. I honestly don't know. I talked about this at the beginning of the stream. Like, I don't know exactly what improvements and what the deal is with the 737-800. I know it's the most common 737 version, and I guess the most popular one. Oh, I should have RTO off. But for me, I am not a huge fan of the 737 from PNDG. I'd rather fly the 777 from them. Waiting for the 747. And here, the iFly 737 is not perfect. They are building a new version with improved EFB and some other improvements, I hope. I think the VNAV still needs a bit more care. But otherwise, I mean, you know, I honestly I like the iFly 737 Max. So the Max really is like a different version to the 737, you know, classic or NGs. And so I'd rather go with the Max version. Peter, hello to you. Moin. Right, I'm going to go TCAS below here. Panel lights, floodlight a bit, panel lights on. And TCAS 2 below. Yeah. Aviamar, yeah, I'm not going to go into any discussion about this. So you're grown up enough to make your own mind on, you know, what you read and what people are showcasing, and you know, and then you can decide on the pricing and see if it's worth your money. I'm not here to tell you what to buy, not to buy. That's not my job. Yeah. I know, Aviamar, I know you see it the same way. Jacob, yes, I think so too, yeah. Engine out would be normally done flaps 20, yeah. But I would have to look at the procedures again. But I think it is 20, right? Yeah, yeah, old-fashioned simmer. I'm not, you know, I'm not here to criticize that, or, you know, like I said, it's your money, all right, and you know exactly what aircraft you like and how to use them, and you know, you buy whatever you need to buy and want to buy. I'm not here to tell you what to do. And Captain Chaos, wie geht's? Thank you so much for the 75 months. Guten Abend. I'm doing well, thanks for asking. It's just a beautiful evening here. It's really nice. Hey Gregory, shape of the fly-by-wire aircraft. I think the A380 is fun. I flew that not too long ago. I can't comment on the Neo. I've flown that for a while, but the 380 is nice. Yes, of course, Motorfrost Blue. Best example, bird strike in the engine. Had cases where I didn't notice anything during the flight, and then on the walk around I noticed we had a bird strike in the engine. So we have to have a maintenance check. No. Good. Alrighty. Let's have a look at the fuel here. And although before we do that, let me have a look. Can we get the weather? Oh, no, we can't. So that's one thing I don't really like here. Yeah. So what we'll do, we'll have a look at the. See if we get some good infos here. So let me go and type that. Let's take Varna. 15:30. That is somewhat delayed for some reason today. Kind of strange. All right, let me take the app here. So we have Varna weather. 18:30 UTC, 090 degrees, 3 knots. Good visibility, no cloud. 5 degrees temperature, 3 degrees dew point. So 2 degrees spread, which means that. Yeah, at the moment I don't expect any. Yeah, that's a new version. So, oh no, what? Why pause? Hang on. What? Why pause? Oh no, hang on. Oh, what's Shift P? What is it? No. What button did I press? Oh, click here to unpause sim. I just thought pause blinking. I'm like, oh no, I'm on VATSIM. Like, I've never seen that. So what button did I press then to have that that paused? How weird. I've never seen that before. Anyways, we'll talk about weather. Weather. Yeah, so like I said, I don't expect any delay there. I'm not sure why we're climbing. So 1027. I'm going to pre-dial that in here already. 27. Yeah, don't worry. It's just because of the pause, I think. Yeah, the unpausing caused some issues. Oh, that's Thessaloniki right below us. Beautiful. Beautiful. Look at that. Nice. Hey, Icebird. Well, top descent is still a long ways away. And I'm pretty sure I don't have that option. Sim menu. Let's have a look. Menu. System page. How? Where's the sim menu? Come on. Panel style. Miscellaneous. It's not that. Other systems. I know it's an option somewhere in here. And I don't have that pause. I'm pretty sure. General. Page down. Gotcha. It was off. Okay, thanks. I didn't even see that. So it was off. Cool. Thank you. Oh, sorry, Alex. Yeah, so I mean, these days you do get a lot more current data regarding where you have you know, GPS jamming active or spoofing active right now. On board, one of the things you would normally notice is, depending on the aircraft that you're flying, is that you're going to get some message regarding maybe ADS-B or ADS-C, but usually ADS-B issues where it just doesn't have the valid data to send out that data anymore. That's usually a very early indication of GPS jamming or spoofing. And then if you go on to position page and have a look at your GPS information there. There we go. So GPS left has a good indication. GPS right has a good indication. And then another thing you would want monitor is, and you usually get an alert there as well, regarding the nav status. Position shift, for example. All right. And then on your nav display, if you go to center mode and press position, that symbol there, that's GPS position, right? And so currently there's only 0.2 mile difference between the IR, so the inertial reference system position, and the GPS position. So it's very accurate right now. Yeah, and the difference between spoofing and jamming. So jamming is simply just you can't receive the GPS data at all from the satellites, right? It's jammed by external means. While spoofing obviously is more dangerous because you're still receiving GPS data, but the data is wrong. And so really you're relying on the internal systems to identify that issue, and the software is getting better, but I think it's a battle like, you know, you're battling viruses, so antivirus programs, or be it what they called, the networking safeguards. So I think it's always a battle. So they're improving the onboard systems to identify these spoofings. Then the systems for spoofing become better again and different. So it's a little bit of a ping pong game, if you like. So we actually did pretty good. Progress says we are expecting a landing in approximately 45-ish minutes, or 45 minutes. So very good, good time. Oh really? No, I did not see that. What? There's a hackathon cybersecurity forum where researchers demonstrated how TCAS could be hacked and controlled and used as a weapon. So the only thing really I can imagine is like that they're using data, so it's uploading wrong data, getting an aircraft resolution advisory, but not away from the aircraft, but actually into the other aircraft. But then you would have to hack both systems on both aircraft. So I don't know. It sounds to me sometimes. So it's a bit worrisome. Yes, they are able to interact with TCAS externally, if that's possible. But there's a lot of sensationalism with that, right? Thank you much for the link. Yeah, I'll read that later. Thanks for that. Yeah. But the good thing is, now that they are aware of it, they can find means and measures to oppose that, right? Yeah, excellent, cool, good. Now that we are en route, let me check the alternate airport, which is Sofia. And oh yeah, we're passing right above that. That's really cool. Which means below us we have terrain. To the left there, at least. Yeah, there's the terrain. We may be a bit far away, and usually there's a mountain range blocking the view to Sofia. That's nice though. Cool. (2423) is next frequency. 2423. Yeah. Yeah, so by utilizing software-defined radios and a custom low-latency processing pipeline, RF signals with spoofed location data can be transmitted to aircraft targets. This can lead to the appearance of a fake aircraft on display and potentially trigger undecided resolution advisories. Okay. That is not nice, no. Hey, Tremonia, the gates. If you have GPS spoofing, is your position and nav display? Well, I mean, yeah. I mean the autopilot. So think of it this way, Avimar. Let's say suddenly your nav routing there jumps by 2 miles and you're still in nav mode. Then the aircraft would try to intercept or re-intercept that nav line, right? Unless it exceeds the limitations where the LNAV would drop out and it would go maybe into heading mode or something with the alerts accompanying that. But I mean, VNAV-wise, no, it wouldn't do anything VNAV-wise, but laterally, yeah, it could potentially affect the path, yeah. That's correct. Good. Right. Oh, here we go. 31225. Okay. 3. So 31225 is, who's that? That's Zofia. Sofia Control, very good evening from Sky Travel. That's the cause. Sky Travel 154 level 370. Sky Travel.
Sky Travel 154, very good evening from the control. It's squawk 4757.
Sky Travel 154. Could you please repeat the scorecard one more time?
4757.
4757. Copied. Okay. So next. Well, yeah, I mean, the real issue obviously is when you're further down low and you get a sudden map shift. That's what we would call that. So map shift causing the aircraft position to suddenly jump. And let's say, for example, you're 8,000 feet, let's say, in the approach, and then suddenly that map shifts, and then suddenly the aircraft position suddenly is right in front of that mountain. Then you may be triggered a predictive advisory, where you would get a caution terrain ahead. It would not trigger really a GPWS pull-up warning, because that requires the
Sky Travel 154 identified direct Dixon.
Sky Travel 154 direct to Dixa. Thank you. That's a nice direct. So for the hard pull-up warning to come, you would need to be also having a radio altimeter indication there, telling you to to pull up there. Let's do a beam points, execute. Right, inbound to Dixa. There is procedures, obviously. So when you are when you suspect GPS spoofing or jamming, then there are ways to deactivate GPS systems on board.
Control Center 154, we leave your airspace, sir.
That then have the aircraft come back to only
Takeoff frequency numbers.
updating with DME distance, or just pure IRS position indications. Now if we go here too, let's see where we would find that. Probably position. Let's check here. Nav status. Page 2, and there we go. So it's a bit of a search, but somewhere you could find the reference there. So let me go and find page 3 here. Hold on. There we go. So now let me deactivate the GPS. You see? So GPS left invalid, GPS right invalid. And also on the nav display, you can see now that symbol for the GPS position is gone. And what you're seeing now, you see these little stars, right? I would have thought you're going to see more than that, but I would assume maybe that's the FMC position then. Yep. Yeah, there's also an in-up ground proximity. So runway. So the RAS system, obviously now, the RAS requires GPS position, right? So the runway awareness and the alerting system. So that will be in up now as well. Makes sense. Hey, Ghost. No, we just talk about GPS spamming and spoofing. Gonna put that back on. And then it'll take a few seconds.
Cool, 4744.
Hang on. There we go. On, and there we go. And now we're back again. Good. Just checking the weather in Sofia. 6 kilometers, no cloud, -1 over -1. Tempo, next 2 hours, temporary 2.
Sky Dubai 4183 здравейте, София, контрол,
2,000 meters in mist. So the weather in Sofia starting to get some issues. Ghost, we're going to go. One of the destinations is going to be Innsbruck, and the other destination is going to be Paro for the group flights. And then hopefully we'll do some air racing. Yeah, Varna is currently okay. 5/3, so not really anything critical there at all. Right. Got top descent coming up. Let's prepare for the approach really quickly. Show landing, show Enroute, airport, Lima, Bravo, Whiskey, November. Search. Varna, we're landing runway 9. The ATIS currently. ATIS information Charlie. ILS Zulu, runway 9. As expected. Flocks of bird in vicinity of runway. Touchdown zone 0903 degrees. 5 degrees, 1027 is already set. Cool. So we're going to have a dry runway. 090 at 3. 51027. The landing weight about 67 tons. I think 69 something is maximum. Gonna add 5 knots there. We'll take actually let's take all in. Flat. Let's do flat 30. Air conditioning on, anti-ice off. Brakes will take 2. We have available. Oh, 1900 meters only. Ooh. So we're going to take at least 3. Everything's working. So with flap 30, brake 3. It says 2,500. Hold on. Let's have a look. Let's check that. Airport infos. Let's check the official data. 09. Yeah, I don't know. So that's see, already something we found that needs correcting. So let me quickly do a screenshot there. So that's wrong. Yeah. So we have 2,517 available. Excellent. Cool. All right. So then, of course, we're fine. So that combination, we could even go with maybe with 2. Let's have that. Have a look at that. Yeah. So even with config 2, autobrake 2 looks fine. Where do we want to vacate the runway? Let's have a look. Bravo. Otherwise, full length. But I think, honestly, Bravo will be fine. We know that those calculations always have a bit of a buffer in them, so we should be fine with autobrake 2. So let's do the quick briefing. So expecting pretty much straight in runway ILS 09 in Varna. We have sector 4,000 feet. Important thing is for the arrival, we have DIXA. Then we go Whiskey November 789. The lowest we're allowed to go there is 4,000, 4,000, 4,000. MPET, initial approach fix 4,000 or above, which should be entered in the MCDU there, or FMS. Yeah, 4,000 above. Then we step down to FRUP 2,900 if necessary, max 190 at FRUP. Then we go down 1,900 if it's a standard approach, that is. So 29, 190, and then 1,900, 190. Runway elevation 200 feet, so that's already very low down, only 1,700 feet. We have a 3-degree normal profile down, minimum cat 1. Yeah, we can take 4%. Actually, we're pretty heavy. Let's take 2.5% mean average climb gradient. So we'll do 460. 460 on the minimums.
Sky Travel 154, when ready, start descent to 10,000 feet by QNH, correct 10,000 feet by Dixon, and QNH in Varna 1027, check information Charlie.
Okay, we have information Charlie when ready to send 10,000. Level latest at Dixa, and QNH is 1027 from Sky Travel 154. Good, and down we go. So I'm going to do this with level change. Because let me enter the minimum there, 10,000 at, let's go 10,000 there, and the transition is about 120, I would say. On the ATIS it says transition, yeah, 120. So VNAV forecast transition 120. Put that in there. Fantastic. Good. We were about to set the minimums of 460. So still dialing up 460. I'm going to go speed intervention here. Speed up a bit so we can descend a bit quicker in idle power. 460. No, I can publish a non-official procedure on my Discord. Yeah, 460 set. Good. Missed approach will go straight out to 1,800 feet. Outbound radial 098 from Whiskey Romeo November. And once we have 1,800, turn right, max 185 knots. And then we go to Whiskey November 754, 757, and we're climbing 3,000 feet. And maintain that until this point. And then to MPET, climb 4,000 for a new approach. Good. Fuel, currently 4.1 ton. The min diversion is 2.7, so we're expecting landing, let's say 3.8. I mean, we've got at least a ton extra, which means here it's about half an hour extra. Paul? No, I have not, no. Is it still meters per second? Hang on. Really? I haven't changed that here? Oh, you're right. Yeah, okay. I mean, I'll tell you what. Let's take 1 knot. Still on the safe side. Yeah, we're still good. So flap 30. Tom, hello to you. So we're doing descent items. Recall check with flaps 30 and auto brake 2. So we go 32. Minimals in. So that means now we can read a checklist. So we'll read a descent checklist. Landing altitude is set. Auto brake. Recall was checked. Auto. No, hang on. Recall checked. Auto brake is 2. Landing data minimums VREF 144, minimums Barrow 460 feet, and approach briefing is completed. And that's the descent checklist complete. Yeah, long haul flyer, the same for the Neo. I mean, the you know, 320 Neo is also very, very, very nice, very efficient. Get myself the chart for the ILS on here as well. Yep, ILS 9, fantastic, cool. Yeah, so we've got to vacate to the left, Bravo preferably, we said. And taxi in Alpha or ramp here. Parking spots. Okay, get a clip here. Parking stands. Complete. Yeah, Bravo. Then we've got Sierra and November. So south and north. And then the parking stands here. Excellent. All right. Except it takes 2 business days to start the engine. That's true. It takes a long time. So, ADS-C EPP is a technology which enables ATC to get flight path 4D information in real time from the aircraft. Data, position, altitude, direction, and time. EPP stands extended projected profile. I've not heard of that. Wow. At the moment, only available then in the Maastricht airspace. Hey Zolak, how are you doing? Zolak, nice to see you. Wow, okay, things are moving. I mean, whew, crazy. We're still a little bit tad high. The thing is though, VNAV is calculated. Yeah, the bit higher speed. Let me just go.
Sophia, hello.
So we need to have 10,000 here at Dixa. That restriction was given to us by ATC.
Direct next to runner 7668.
Oh, nice. Your right foot is getting better. Okay. Well, but the good thing is so like if you feel that you have an improvement, yeah. Hey, Sim Caesar. You mean like now that I'm facing the picture? Yeah, and Caesar, I think somewhere in between, if you are available between the 27th and well, actually, hang on. So either 27th or 28th, I may have time for a shared cockpit flight. I'm not sure how you are traveling over Christmas. Yeah. So we're coming back into path. Before I forget, let me enter the inbound course 0901. 0901. 0901. And I'm going to pre-dial the... So 12.4 we want to have. 12.4 on here. And then I'll pre-dial the ILS already at 9.9. So, ILS 9.9. Transfer. Cool. So Whiskey Romeo November is on the right-hand side, 71 miles. Looks good. And I have pre-dialed the ILS for later. Okay, Simsy, no worries. Then January, I'm here in January. at least until the end of January. So then we should be able to find a date. Fantastic. And a big shout out, guys, to Sim Caesar. If you don't know him, please check out his channel here on Twitch. Danum, gute wie geht's? 340 feet high, but we're coming into path. Fantastic. Increase a little bit more. Good. Take a sip of water, and then we're good to go. So VNAV at the moment, I would say looks good. If we look at the total trek mileage, which says is 68 miles. So usually if you take a very crude calculation, it's times 3. So, or let's say divide by 3 maybe even. So let's say 23,000 feet to lose would do the trick. So I think we can come back again to normal speed. Let's close speed intervention. Let's press VNAV again. Wow, that's a very slow speed. Nah, that's too slow. Let's go with 270. So we have VNAV path. And then we can take the VSD. So for descent, it does give us a nice prediction there, which is great.
Horizon 5 November, correction, Ocean 5 Victor, counting Bucharest 132, there's no 865, bye-bye.
I'm not sure what you're referring to regarding hold. Autofast Blue, good night to you. Take care, have a good night. Next should be approach 2423. 24. Yeah, 24, 24. Nice. Yes, definitely Ghost. So we had the delimitation Ghost on the 787 SOP wise that if you want to fly VNAV path in the approach so that we can go and descend according to the FMS profile, meaning we could dial in the lowest altitude on the approach, let's say, if you've been cleared that by ATC, and then allow the VNAV path function to make sure that all the restrictions are being met. But in able to use the VNAV path mode, you would have to have the VSD visible. So if you didn't have the VSD open, you're not allowed to use the VNAV path function.
Emirates 63 Quebec, contact Bucharest 132-865, bye-bye.
Good, let's get the seat belts on. I'm going to take some lights already. Yeah, Vimar, but the restriction was that you would have to be able to visually see that descent path with the VNAV path function. It was just one of those SOP things. But I like to use the VNAV path function, yeah. So the other issue is, if you use the flight level change function, you are not allowed to dial in the latest or the last altitude. So you also have to, you would have to always step by step dial down the altitude to the next limitation on the arrival routing, even though it's been cleared for the whole transition, let's say. Captain Kitten, hello. Captain Kitten, hello. Yeah, that link should work. So Captain Kitten.
Travel 154, contact Varna approach 124, 230, bye-bye.
124230, good day, thank you from Skytravel 154. Yeah, so that link should take you to the Discord, and then in the welcome channel, type in hello, and then you'll be admitted to all the channels there. Yeah. I'm a bit surprised it doesn't work anymore. So Captain Kitten, let me know please if that link works. Here we go, transition 1027. Hey Alpha. And then we'll read the approach checklist. Altimeters 1027, 11.4 checked. Approach checklist complete. Okay, so Captain Kitten, maybe try what Aviamar just wrote there. Oh, approach. On approach, very good evening from Skytravel 154, reaching maintainable 10,000, and we have information, Charlie.
Qatar 154, Varna approach, good evening, identified information, Delta is current, cleared Dixa 1 Delta arrival, expect hours to approach runway 09, descent altitude 7,000 feet, local QNH 1027.
Descent 7,000, 1027 the QNH, and we will check information Delta for the ILS Zulu 09er, Skytravel 154. Good, we have VNAV path. And yeah, we are cleared to Dixa 1 Delta arrival as well. Thank you, Skytravel 154. That's what I forgot. So everything as briefed, and now we just simply make sure that we reach those limitations. So we have 7,000 for now, and track mileage 30 miles, 9,000 feet, some deceleration. I'm going to slow down to 250, so I have some speed brakes out currently. Okay, thank you much, Captain King. Let me see. So one of my moderators, Mark, can you have a look at the Discord, please? If oh, Magnus, I've got your message. Yeah, I've got your private message. Yeah, we have spoken before. Yeah. We can talk through there then. Yeah, so you have found me. Cool. Alrighty. 7,000 is. I'm gonna continue 230.
Hello, approach is 712 passing 900 feet.
712. Varna approach, good evening, hello again, identified, continue climb flight level 240.
Has no speed restrictions there, unless 250 below 10,000, so I'm going to slow down here.
Climb flight level 240 is 712.
Sky Tower 145, descent altitude 4,000 feet, clear towers to approach 09, report established.
Sky Travel 154, descending 4,000 feet, clear the LS Zulu 09er, and our call established. Yes, I will be there. So I'll be arriving on Friday, and I'll do my very best to see if I can attend the captain's dinner as well. But yeah, I have a lot of people that are meeting on Friday evening already. So, but I will be there Saturday and Sunday for sure. Yeah, 100%. So speed brake is extended. Sky Trouble? No. No, not Sky Trouble. Sky Travel, not Trouble. Don't confuse me. We can see India Whiskey November ILS 09 Zulu is identified. 091 inbound. And yeah, I can see the runway. What a great visibility today. Which means, guys, before we though go manual flight, let me dial in tower frequency, which is 119505. 119505. Cool. All right, I'll tell you what. Let's dial down the speeds a bit more. Manual thrust. And minus flight. Flight directors off. I'll take the bird. Flight path vector. Here comes flaps 1. Speed brakes in. Dave, I would love to have a radio panel. I'm waiting for the wind wing radio panel. And flaps 5. Oh, flaps 5.
Now that's how pros do it.
A bit fast for flaps 5 there. Flaps 5. Clever system. Actually had a flap load relief function there as well. Very nice. Yeah, we're getting us there. But 4.5. So the thing is this, I mean, you know, 5,000 feet is like 15 miles up. So that's still far out. So normally I wait until I'm a little bit closer.
Bucharest Airport asphalt.
Deserto 3 Tango, добър вечер, Sofia Control. You're clear to Bucharest via Balik 4 November, departure runway 09. Initial climb 160.
Bit tailwind, 9 knots.
4747.
Let's go flaps. Oh, flaps R10. I don't have the notches set here on the.
To Bucharest Airport asphalt via departure. November departure, squawk 4747.
Now we're already on the ILS. I'm going to set go around 3,000 feet.
Deserto 3 Tango, confirm Balik 4 November, runway 09, and initial climb 160.
From Bali 4 and departure runway 09, initial climb 16, flight level 160.
Deserto 3 Tango, read back, correct.
Sky Travel 154 is on the ILS established.
Sky Travel 154, Varna Tower, very good evening. Surface wind
25.
070 degrees, 5 knots, runway 09 or clear to land.
Okay, 09 clear to land, Sky Travel 154. Did I switch over? I guess I wasn't concentrating. Ay. Good. Here comes gear down. Flaps 15. And oops, have 149.
Hello again, Varna. Tower, we are ready for pushback.
Flaps 25.
With the 2-3 Tango, no pushback is required for you. It is taxi out stand, so start of approach, QNH 1027.
Speed brake armed. And flaps 30 final setting.
QNH 10 Tango.
I confirm startup approved.
Startup approved.
Slightly high. Looking good. Start switches, continuous, and then we can read the landing checklist. Start switch continuous, speed brake arm green light, gear down 3 green, flaps 30 green light. Wind a bit from the right. Just go a bit fast. Let's correct that. Yeah, that was just a brain fart. Don't know why I hit the switch there to change.
1,000.
1,000 checked. And Sky Travel 154, just make sure we clear to land 09.
Sky Travel 154, affirmative, clear to land runway 09, north, wind 070 degrees, 5 knots.
Good land 09, thank you, Sky Travel 154. Alpha, it's been a long day for me today. I was woken up very early this morning. So, one of the cats got me up at 5 this morning. Long day. Cool, clear to land. Let's do that as well. Hand flies beautifully. Very nice indeed. Just slightly low, correcting. Now, I'm going to go with the ILS a little bit. It looks like the Papi are very close to the runway edge. So let's do that.
Minimum
Continue.
300.
Slightly low. Correcting. On path again.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Speed brakes up. Oh, the taxi ribbons. Reverse are green. I'm telling you, those taxi ribbons. Right, manual brakes. Auto brake is
Now that's how pros do it.
You see, I just need the taxi ribbons. I can't taxi without them. Right, let's slow down, make sure we don't overrun. Do we have ground? No, we don't. Now I've got to find a key to switch them off again. I don't have a key binding for that. Because I turned everything off.
Skytravel 154, welcome to Varna Airport, taxi via Alpha and Sierra, stand number 11.
Alpha Sierra, stand 11. Thank you, Skytravel 154. Good. I'm gonna stop in a second. I'm just gonna see if I can get those taxi ribbons off. It's a shame, it's very quiet here. I mean, they don't really make these events very often. So, I'm not sure. Taxi ribbon.
Wizard 23 Tango, ready for taxi?
03 Tango, taxi to holding point runway 09 via November and Echo.
Taxi holding point runway 09 via November and Echo, Wizard 23 Tango.
Ha! Got it. There we go. Good. Then we want to have GSX. I think I need the follow me. Select from map. So that's 7, 9, and we had 1, 1. Select. Now we'll find it on our own. So there we go. And then I'm going to have a chart out here for the parking stands. So Sierra is this taxi that we're on, and then we just look for 11 and just turn right once we get to our parking spot. It is, absolutely agree that just GSX, I mean, you can say what you like, but I mean, they have done some stuff to improve things, right? So let's go Sierra. Yep, that would be Alpha. Let's start the APU. Make sure weather radar, terrain. There's our spot. 3. Oh yeah, still a bit to go then. Oh, it's over there. Oh, disregard. It's a very long way to go still. TCAS off. Radar is off. APU is starting. Strobes can go off.
Wizard 23 Tango, set squawk 4747 and mode Charlie 3.
Oh, 4747 mode Charlie.
TCAS can go off as well. There's 7, 8, 9. Oh, it is on the apron. Okay, there we go. Here's 11.
Wizard 23 Tango, certitude 070 degrees 5 knots to runway 09 clear for takeoff. After departure, contact approach 124.230.
Clear takeoff from 09 with a duty tango after departure. Contact approach on 134.600.
It looks like Fraport also has, yeah, just paid scenery, yeah. But it looks like a Fraport symbol there. Parking brake is set. APU on bus. That can go off as well. And then we'll switch off the engines. Is Fraport, it does own Varna. Crazy. Crazy stuff, man. Nice. Yeah, I'm happy with the landing. Happy with the landing. So steady anti-collision light off. I'm going to take the seatbelts off. And then let's get deboarding going.
The boarding requested.
Yeah, also many airports in Greece, right? From a time where they had lots of money available, it seems. And we have some... oh, we are going to get some stairs here. Interesting. Okay, we'll take it. We'll take it. And then I want to have doors, system page, doors. So we want to have open forward. And we're going to have right, hang on, next page. Left aft entry. And I want to have the cargo. Oh, they are opening as well. Cool. Nice.
Passengers bus is coming.
GG's. That was nice. Cool. Let's read a checklist. Make sure we have everything set first of all, though. That can go off as well. APU is running. Let's have some air in here. Okay, and then we'll try again. So the shutdown checklist: fuel pumps off, except the forward fuel pump for the APU. Probe heat is off. Hydraulic panel is set. Flaps are up. We have parking brake set. Engine start levers cut off. And weather radar is off. And that's the shutdown checklist complete. Very nice. Cool. Thank you very much, guys. We are going to be back in about 40 minutes, roundabout, for the next flight. I'm going to fly the DHC-4 Caribou. Flying it from... yeah, Tremoni, I'm going to have something to eat. Brennelt is flying along. So we set at 9:30 local time. So 20:30 UTC. Gregory, thank you so much for watching. And yeah, I'm flying from Kelovna to Nelson in the Caribou. It was a challenge given to me by Brennelt, which I'm happy to do today. We'll see how we get there. Right. Mighty moderators, thank you so much. Thanks for all the resubs, guys. Much appreciated. And if you have time Saturday, do join the stream, open stream, 1400 UTC until 1800 UTC. We will do some giveaways. We're going to do some group flights for people to join. So make sure, if you have time, to come. Could be worth your time, for sure. Dankeschön. Guys, thank you so much. I'll see you soon. Take care. Good night. Unless you want to see the next flight in about 40 minutes. See you soon.